Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to the next part of our video series, being a man in the age of women. I had a very interesting question which actually flows very well into the idea that I wanted to talk about, so we'll just start with that. Someone asked me, they stated, very cleverly, that what I'm talking about, the ideas of the last video, apply to both genders, both men and women, right? The idea of providing and protecting. Shouldn't both people be looking out for each other, both taking care of each other? Yeah, absolutely. Everything, absolutely, almost everything I say probably does indeed apply to both genders, right? I just say, these are the ways a man should act because it's a motivating force as opposed to let's just be good people, right? I mean, yeah, let's just be good people to each other. But when you have something specific, when you have a goal, when you have this is who I am, this is who I'm with, this is what I need to do for them, it kind of moves you forward a little bit than just throwing a bunch of general stuff out there. So yeah, it does apply to both genders. It might look differently because we're built differently, right? Physically, psychologically, and then then the person that we're with also has different burdens. It has different hardships. So while yes, me and my girlfriend both take care of each other, we both look out for each other, the way in which we do it is slightly different because her experiences are different, her hardships are different, her mind works differently than me, so it's expressed, slightly different. So that being said, that moves us into the next idea, which is burdens. Because we all have burdens. Our burdens look different as men and women. And I think, again, let's go back to the basic. Let's go back to the core, right? The primal man, right? You can look at our bodies. The way our bodies were built, I think, spells a lot about our burden. And the way our mind works spells a lot about our burden. Women, their bodies are built, right, for childbirth. That's largely what why their bodies are shaped the way they are, why they do the things they do, really just centers around childbirth, right? They have they have to put up with carrying a child, birthing a child, they have to put up with periods, all this shit's thrown on top of them. Well, not only that, but when women have children, right, a lot more goes on in their heads, more hormones that connect them to the child, so now they're more inclined to take care of the child. And then on today, right, we have this societal pressure, right, like you have this body, now you have to do this, look like this, etc., and some of that even conflicts with the natural burden that they have, right, like you have to stay skinny. Well, guess what, women build fat a little bit easier than guys do because, their body's prepping, right, getting ready for two, so to speak. Whether you want kids or not, that's just kind of what your body's gonna do. Guys, on the other hand, right, our bodies are, we don't have those, right? We build muscle easier. And these are all very general, right? Not every guy's like this, not every woman's like this, absolutely. In this sense, generalizations are used to simplify things, right? Let's understand the basics before we go off into variations. So, right, we were built, going back to providing and protecting, chase down those animals and wrestle bears and defend our homes and stuff like that. And the cosmic dance of men and women continues. Today's society, not only do we not really have that societal burden quite in the way that women do, we've also escaped our natural burden because we don't have to do that stuff anymore. So we've just thrown our burden off. We can just hightail it out of everything. And it kind of leaves women in a shitty place. So what are we supposed to do now, right? We obviously can't carry children. We can't take those natural burdens from them, right? We can take those societal burdens off of them. We can't really, just restructure society right now. But at least, right, like I was saying about the providing, right? Create a place where those burdens don't exist for them, right? Remove that, at least for our sake. But then it's us to find burdens for ourselves. It was interesting too because the young woman who asked the question, I'm assuming she's a young woman, she said that it seems a little unfair to say that men should, right, always do this in the case of provide and protect, the men should be ready to go out there and work. It's up to the women, she decides, and then the man goes forth and does right off of her decision. You say, why is that? Come to an agreement, come to a compromise? Yeah, in the case of a relationship, talk about it, come to a compromise. But, and this is how to be a good person, that general thing, it is your responsibility to take as much on you as possible. It is your responsibility to make as much of a difference as you can. It is utterly, completely your responsibility to do as much as you possibly can. So that being said, I stand here, or I'm sitting, I stand here as a man, and I say it is my responsibility to do as much as I can. It's my responsibility as a man to do this for my girlfriend, my responsibility as a human being. I think that we should take as much responsibility on ourselves as possible. That goes for everyone. I've said that so many times throughout my videos, and I'll continue saying that. Take as much responsibility as you possibly can. So picking up the burdens, right, as a man, picking up the burdens is a form of taking on as much responsibility as you can. And you take those responsibilities, right, you pick up those burdens to try to make her life a little bit easier. You can't really take her natural burdens, you can't get rid of them. You can make life a little bit bearable, you know. And this, again, this takes so many forms. You have sort of your silly little chivalrous things of like opening doors and manning a jar and reaching high objects, carrying the heavy stuff. You know, it's noble, right? I don't think that entails all of it, but that's sort of the most basic idea of that. I think you go into taking emotional burdens, right? Being the solid rock, being the foundation. Again, you're not doing this to say, oh, you silly woman, you're so emotional. You're doing this to make her life a little bit easier. Being willing to let go of your pride. Being willing to not hold on to having to be right. You know, being willing to be the first one to apologize. Whatever the case may be. I'm going to be really clear here and say that taking on burdens is not for the sake of equating burdens. It's not to play this tit for tat, like, well, you have to deal with this, I have to deal with that, we're about even, right? We like doing that. Someone complains about something and you say, well, I have to deal with etc, etc, etc. That gets nothing done. There's nothing productive about that whatsoever, right? You're a human being on this planet. Your life's not easy. Nobody's life's easy. We don't take on these hardships. We don't face hardships to compare scars. There's, you know, times and places for that, but most of the time, that's not what it's about. So, yeah, the things I say on here aren't fair. It's not fair to say, men, do absolutely everything you can. It's your responsibility to do everything you can, right? And even if you don't want to, if there's things you don't want to do, too bad. Do it anyways. It's also not fair for women to have to deal with the things they have to. It's not fair for them to carry the burdens they want to, but the fact is it's not fair. None of this is fair, and it's not about being fair, right? This is the dynamic, it's a cosmic dance between men and women. It's the dynamics of a relationship. It's not about being fair, it's about a relationship. It's not fair that my girlfriend's had to put up with all the shit that she's had to put up with in her life. It's not fair that she continues to have to put up with the shit that she has to. That's not fair. And so it's not fair for, you know, me to have to put up with the stuff that I put up with. Take on myself what, you know, I have to. Yeah, it's not fair. And there's no way of ever knowing if it's going to be fair because I can't possibly tell what she's experiencing. I can't possibly know how hard things are. She can't possibly know what I'm experiencing. So we're not going to know if it's fair. So fairness is really sort of out at this point, and it's more just what can I do? That's the question you should be asking. How much can I do? What can I do? What is my responsibility? To which my answer is absolutely as much as you can take. So that's pretty much that. Let me know. I've been getting some pretty good questions, and it's been helping me really kind of shape the direction that I'm taking this in. So I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.